With 1 week until the general election, island Democrats gather while Republicans are on the move.
Each group is trying to reach voters during this last campaign push, including the undecided voters and even members of its own party. KITV4's Paul Drews stopped by a Democratic rally this evening and explains who is being targeted. Paul?
Well, while it would seem like the biggest effort now would go into getting voters to change their minds for or against a particular candidate, instead many politicians say the biggest effort is actually making sure residents vote as expected.
Wave the camera, give them the shot.
With a week to go until the general election, candidates say it's time to get personal.
We're going to personally reach out to as many voters as we can. We're going to be traveling the state, all across Oahu. We're having rallies. We're going to be basically everywhere we can possibly be to try to interact with as many Hawaii people as we possibly can.
Candidates want to focus on the group of voters who haven't yet made up their minds.
The undecided voters are critical here.
Thank you.
That's one of the reasons these sign wavers lined up along King Street before the Democrats' final grassroots rally, to not only show their support, but to make an impact on the minds of voters.
Maybe this will convince them that they need to be on news team.
Because even a week away from the election, supporters have run into plenty of voters that have still not made their choices of candidates.
Even my family, there's some of my family who's they're still not sure yet who's right, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's good to look into these things because it's very important because it's our governor.
I'm energized.
For this candidate for governor, even more important than reaching out to undecided voters is reaching out to voters that have already said they'll vote Democrat.
Our main thing now is turnout. We want to make sure that people who are for us turn out. It's one thing to say, hey, I'm with you. It's another thing to actually vote.
So while everyone can expect more sign waving, television ads, and door-to-door campaigning during this final week, those in the same party can expect even more personal attention from their candidates and supporters.
It's going to be reaching out to all voters, but reaching out in particular to those voters that, of course, we believe would probably vote Democrat.
Now, tonight's Democratic grassroots rally was also a fundraising event, just one of a number that is expected to help candidates as they spend millions of dollars getting their message out. Laura?